Hello, 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 and welcome to the Sit Down with Yolonda Jay. Very excited for you to be with us tonight on our premiere episode of the Sit Down. I'm so excited to be with you. I cannot explain how excited I am to be with you. This day was not chosen by accident. When I had the idea for this podcast, it absolutely, every time I talked about it, the numbers 1111 would pop up on my phone. It would be 11:11 at night. It would be, the time would be 11:11 in the morning or 11:11 at night. And it was so serendipitous that I started digging into what does 11:11 mean? And it just all connected with a new version of what my journey looks like and this 11:11 in this podcast. And so I am so excited to introduce this podcast on 11:11 just because you're here is going to be amazing. So this podcast is specifically for and created for you, created by me for you. So welcome to the Sit Down with Yolonda Jay, where I will bring leaders to sit down and share how they stood up. You already know, if you've been following me for some time, that leadership development is my passion. And so every episode will pull back the curtain on the real stories behind success. I hear all the time, how will I? And now I want to give you some actual tools to help you manifest your dreams. Listen, entrepreneurship has been such a blessing for me. It has changed the trajectory of my life, my children's lives, and I want to give that back to others. So what is it going to take? I want you to not only hear the good side of what it takes, but the grit, the growth, and what kind of grace you may need to lead with purpose. Tonight, I'm sitting down with entrepreneur powerhouse Christi Farmer. I could not have started this venture without showcasing someone I've worked with for so long, and I have watched firsthand her grit, growth, and grace. Her journey to entrepreneurship is nothing short of epic, from vision to sincere execution. From setbacks to her comeback, Christi has built more than a business. She's built a blueprint, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, for resilience and what it looks like in real time. So we're talking purpose. Today, we're going to talk passion and the power to pivot when life says, nope, not yet. So grab your notebook, your favorite drink, and a front row seat to this conversation, because tonight we're going to hear what it truly means to stand up in your calling. This is, I need some music right here. Where's Gordon when I need him? This is the Sit Down with Yolonda Jay. I'm so excited. Woo! So excited to welcome you. I want to make sure that we are live before I bring our guest on. Looks like we're live, so I hope that we are. All right. So she has a form of bio that I don't want to skip over, because her next journey, so we were in a journey together, but her next journey is definitely one of going back to her roots as an educator and health and wellness advocate. Christi Farmer is a wife, a mother of 3 daughters, an educator, and an entrepreneur whose journey reflects nearly 2 decades of faith, family, and purpose-driven work. Her career began in a single classroom on the south side of Chicago and eventually took her to Abu Dhabi. I don't even know how to say that. And then to Metro Atlanta, where she served as a teacher, instructional coach, and assistant principal before stepping out into a full-time business owner. So we're excited to welcome her. Today, Christi is a college professor in early childhood education, but she's also an award winner leader with Melaleuca. the founder of Inspire, Empower, and Elevate, a movement helping women design lives rooted in wellness, wealth, and balance. Through her mentorship programs and social media boot camp, she's going to equip women to grow in influence, income, and without sacrificing their peace or time with their families. Christi's story is one of reinvention. I can't wait for her to tell her story. Proof that you can walk away from what's comfortable and build a life that's intentional, impactful, and aligned. So you can connect with Christi on Facebook and Instagram. We'll definitely throw that on the screen. I want to present to some and introduce to others, Christi Farmer. You can't even stop working for 5 seconds. She like,
actually, I was making sure that we were live. I was sharing this to some of the mutual groups that we have and the messenger chats we have. So
did you see it live though? Did you see it live?
I did see it live. I actually sent you I think we have a private chat.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay. But we are definitely live.
I was too busy getting hyped. So I'm so excited to welcome Christi Farmer, not because it's just Christi Farmer. Listen, my assistant name is Malcolm, and I put Christi Farmer in there, and I can't wait to share what Malcolm told me that you were. Empowerment leader, thought provoker, innovator. I was like, you gotta say it. I know Christi. You may not know Christi, but after today, you'll definitely be wanting to sit in the boot camp of under Christi because she is absolutely a powerhouse when it comes to income, when it comes to motivating and inspire. Did you say when it comes to income?
Well,
I'm just okay. You can be humble. It's fine. It's fine. I still put hashtag Master Team Builder as I was about to be messy because you still are. You still are a master team builder. Christi and I met about 9 years ago at this point, almost 10 years ago. We crossed paths completely by accident. There was not a cultivated reason why we met. I didn't even notice her until she said, I don't need to know you. The rest is her story. And so, Christi, I just want you to jump in and introduce yourself. I gave you the formal invite, but what do you want our audience to know about who you are and how, and your journey from, so we've been through, in 10 years, we've had life changes. We've had babies.
Yeah.
We had,
we have.
Whose idea that was? Whose idea was that? We ended up having babies almost closer together, a little later life. Well, I'm later in life than you are. Let me not put you up there with me. I'm older than you.
Listen, when I was pregnant, they definitely considered me a geriatric mama.
They killed me with that. So tell us your story, just a little bit from your perspective of your journey to this point. Let's even go back 10 or 11 years, your journey to this point.
Yeah, so if I was to go back, I was an educator, a teacher in public school system. And then from there, I've always, if we go really way back, I've always been a hustler. From being a third grader who had a lemonade stand, who decided to set the lemonade stand up near the mailboxes because I knew that people were going to come after work. We had those drive-up mailboxes where you could just drive up to it, open it up, but it was like a townhouse community. So they weren't right in front of your house. Like everybody who lived there had to come through that row. So I went and set my lemonade stand up right there at the rush hour time. So like 6 p.m. And I look back on that. I didn't know at the time, but I looked back on that and I was like, I've always been entrepreneurial. Like if my parents, because we live, at the time I wasn't aware of this, but we lived paycheck to paycheck. And there were things my parents just couldn't get us. Now I was fortunate because I had a aunt who's now a millionaire who was making good money back then. So we did go take trips to Florida. Like she was the aunt with no kids who would take us to trips to Florida. And she was the aunt with no. The rich auntie. Yep. Before rich auntie was a thing, I had a rich auntie. So we were the kids in the neighborhood who had the, remote control Barbie cars where everybody else barely had a bicycle. And so I was entrepreneurial way back then, or always hustling. Like when my parents said, we can't do it. I was like, well, let me figure out a way to do it. So I was in high school, the person who everybody knows, a snack person, like, the kid who had the stuff inside their locker. That was me. I had honey buns and Rice Krispie treats in my locker because I worked in the grocery store, Winn-Dixie. So anybody who's in Georgia in the South, you know, Winn-Dixie.
Old
I
school.
worked in Winn-Dixie, and it was just like, wait a minute, this box of 12 Rice Krispie treats I could buy for like, I don't know, maybe they were like $4 back then, but I could sell each Rice Krispie for $1. So I'd buy it for $4, sell it for $1 each, and then make $6, $12, depending how many in the package. I've always been that person, like a no from a parent was not a no for me. It was like, well, then fine, I'll just figure out how to get it myself. And it wasn't bad things I was trying to get for myself. It was just like they could provide my everyday, my needs. My needs were never not taken care of as a kid,
Right.
But I was around kids. My parents did do a good job of making sure we were like always the poorest in the neighborhood. That makes sense, right? So we were in good neighborhoods, but we were barely there. So my parents made sure we lived in good neighborhoods, but we were 2-parent households. Like I remember my neighbor was the police chief and his wife was a teacher. Well, my parents weren't that. Like my mom was a bank teller and they didn't make a lot of money. You know what I mean? My dad was the meat cutter. So that's my background. Always been a hustler, teacher. When I was a teacher, I was tutoring over tutor programs. I was always making side money. And that's what led me in 2012 to the business that we got to know each other through. Was I literally Googled ways to make extra $1,000. And it's funny because like maybe a couple of years ago, my Google wasn't make extra $1,000. It's like how to make an extra 10,000. So that's what inflation does for you. Inflation doesn't extra $1,000 a month really doesn't do as much as it did 12 years ago. And now people are Googling, extra 5, extra 10, extra 20, $1,000 a month, because that would really be life changing.
$500.
Seriously, yeah, a week, not a month, a week.
Well, she buys all organic food, so it's $500 a week. Wellness advocate. Listen, what was the pivotal thing though? I want to talk about, like, every great entrepreneur has that one defining moment. And I kind of heard it from your childhood, but as an adult, what moment did you decide to bet on yourself?
When I was furloughed. And it's funny, not funny, but like we're in a time now where a lot of people are being furloughed. I was furloughed as a teacher and I didn't know what furloughed even meant. It was in 2012 and they were like, you're furloughed. And so for us as teachers, this was when the housing market had crashed in like 2008. But most people aren't aware that teachers are paid off of taxes. So if people don't pay their home taxes, then the budget gets messed up, right? Because they're basing the school's budget on that. People for years have paid their taxes. Well, when everybody's losing their homes, they're not paying their home taxes, which is what was happening in 2008. And eventually, like 4 years later, it caught up to the school system. So in our case, we didn't have to go to work. They were giving us days off. So it was like once a month, we'd have a day off, but we weren't getting paid. So our pay was cut. And living paycheck to paycheck, when your pay is cut, and we had a savings, but like our savings was like $500 and my credit card sucked. So my not student loan, but my credit card limit was $500. So that wasn't like, that wasn't now my limit now, baby. But back then, my limit was $500. And that was a pivotal moment for me. That's what made me do that Google. And my first thought was like, okay, they're giving me a day off. Well, I'm going to make some money. And I was already doing after school tutoring. Like I was already doing everything that was taking up my time. And I had to figure, this was like when residual started making sense to me. I had to figure out a way that I could make more money that wasn't going to take me time, because I didn't have any more time. Like I had a kid, I had a husband. She was like 5 at the time. I just didn't have any more time, but I needed more money. So that was a pivotal moment for me, is like, I got to find a way where, at the time I didn't know this is what it was, but it was like basically making money in my sleep. I had to find a way where I'm not physically doing the work, but the money's still coming in. That was pivotal for me. That was my moment. And from there on, that's it. Like, if it ain't making me money while I'm sleeping, I don't want no parts of it.
You were thinking like that before we met, is what you're saying. Before we met, I thought that mentality came through that process, but it was really already embedded in you that I got to make money in my sleep. So what made you like find the confidence to just push from dreaming, thinking, Googling about it to just doing it? Is it just the hustle that's in you? And if so, you've seen a lot of women go from, I don't know, I'm gonna just put on my mood board, I'm just gonna vision board. We vision board to death. We'll just vision board it. What would be your advice to those who, because I think the answer for you is I just get it done, because that's how I know you. So I just get it done. If I see it, I'm gonna do it. But what advice would you give to people who kind of like procrastinate through starting or pushing towards their dream?
Action. Take action. I have not always been this confident. Do I feel like I lacked confidence? No, I feel like I've always had some. My mom did a great job of, I think now at some point she probably almost regretted how good of a job she did with me and my sister being confident. Because it's like, who are y'all? And I'm like, me and my sister have even had conversations like, you made us this way. Like, we're grown now. And so, it's like this confidence that you embedded in us. Mom, we love you, but no, we're not going to do, it's not disrespectful, because I would never disrespect now my sister. On the other hand, she sees this. I would never disrespect mommy. But it's taking action. I didn't get better or get to this point where I'm this confident until I just kept doing things over and over again. And I literally had to tell myself, like, self-talk is a big thing. Like, how bad do you want this, Christi? Like, even meeting you. I think I may have been in the business maybe a couple of years before I met you. And the Christi, when I first started, would not have come up to you. But enough times of being in the grocery store, and like, I would literally be in the grocery store and I'd say to myself, like, this person and this woman, because I typically work with a lot of women, this woman in front of you, you could change her life and inadvertently she'll change yours. Are you going to let being scared of what she might say or not saying the right thing keep that from happening? Like, I'm literally having this self-talk, and it's like, nope, I want this. And it, like I said, stopped being more about me. It's like, I have learned over the years that if financial is your goal, like if you want to make a lot of money, it literally comes from how many people you help. And so it's not like she could make me a millionaire. It's like, I'm going to introduce this to her and it's going to make her a millionaire. And as a result, I'll be one too. Or I'm going to share this with her. And as a result, she's going to make an extra $1,000. And as a result, I'm going to make more money too. Like, and we ask, I feel like a lot of times we ask for, from God, from the universe, whatever your beliefs are, we ask for things and we're given those opportunities over and over and over again, exactly what we've asked for, because it doesn't look like how we think it should look. We don't take those out. And I don't want to wake up. I literally got to the point. I don't want to keep asking God for things, and then I'm the reason I'm not receiving those things. It's like, you're asking for this, but I put you in a grocery store by women all the time. I put you on an airplane I just come to realize that nothing is by accident. So out of all the times, or even let's talk about airplane, out of all the seats you could have sat by and all the combinations of people that could have sat beside you, God put you at that seat at that time beside that person, and you're not going to say nothing to them? When your life gets better by helping other people, the gifts that God gave you, you're not going to share them with the person beside you? And then let them, like, their body language lets you know if that conversation needs to keep going or if you need to end it. But I'll give you a prime example. I was in the airport this past weekend to New Mexico to visit my daughter in college. And I have TSA pre-checks. So I was waiting for my stuff to come through. And this guy whose face looked like,
You do or you don't?
I do have TSA pre-checks.
No, that's right.
Oh, absolutely. If you're traveling with me and you don't have it, we'll meet on the other side of the gate. But this guy was standing there, like, stone face, probably looks like nobody you want to talk to. And I was putting my little gray bin, back on the thing, and I accidentally, like, it almost hit him. And so I was like, oh, I'm about to take you out. And he looked, because he's tall, he's like 6 foot. He's looking down at me and he starts laughing. Like, a lot of people wouldn't even have said anything to this guy because of the way he was looking, but his whole demeanor changed. Like, now I think about it, like, darn it, that may have been my opportunity. I probably should have talked to him then about this healthy lifestyle. I may have missed that. But that's really taking action is what builds your confidence. taking, like actually doing the things, talking to the people, trying whatever it is that's on your vision board. If you don't take action, you don't learn, you don't get better, you don't get more confident, and you don't touch people's lives. And that's where the money resides. That's where the blessings reside. That's where everything that you're asking for resides, in the action, in doing something. People, let's do something tomorrow. Whatever you've been scared of, do it.
I love that. I love that. But was there a moment in your journey that you can share where it kind of tested everything in you? Have you ever had one of those moments?
Being married to my ex-husband, that tested everything in me. That tested everything in me. But you know what? I'll share that. I'm sure there's some. I have to reflect a little bit more on my business journey. But honestly, my first marriage tested everything in me. And this is what I'll say. I don't know who this is for, but what I will say about my first marriage is that it was my fault. And what I mean by my fault is I was never supposed to be in that marriage. All the signs were there. All the things I had prayed for, the good Lord above sent me every sign possible that I should not be in that marriage. But I was determined to have things happen on my timeline. And I did not listen to none of those signs. None of, I mean, like there's no doubt. I was young. And I was in my mind, I was supposed to graduate in a certain amount of time period. Like I got in a car accident and went to summer school because I'm supposed to graduate in this timeline. Like I'm not supposed to be in college past 4 years.
Wow.
And then I even said to myself, like the guy that I can be in a relationship that makes it past 6 months is the one I'm going to be with. Well, guess who made it past 6 months? And looking back, I probably told him that. And the way that he operated is he listened to everything that any woman, like this is past my relationship, any woman he's ever been with, he listens to what they say and he becomes that. So I'm pretty sure I told him, like I was young, like 20 years old. I'm pretty sure I said, like, any guy that makes it past 6 months I'm gonna be with. And he probably made it 6 months and 1 day and was like, I got her. And so, but the lesson in that, which I have listened to more and more as the days go by, the years have gone by, is not my timeline, but actually taking a step back and reading the room. Ooh. And what I mean by the room is like reading my life, reading what is naturally happening, how things are lining up for me, right? And not trying to make, like, if it is not working out, it's not meant to be. And I'm not, I feel like the right people are going to receive this the right way. But if I was to explain it, even more, I'm not saying don't have the conversations and don't talk to people. But I'm also at the point now that, like, even in business, if I introduce it to you and I share it to you and you're like, I don't do this, I don't like that, I don't do this, and I'm not like, well, maybe you should. No, like, I'm not convincing you that this is what either you want it or you don't, because I've laid out all the information and either it fits your lifestyle or it doesn't. I'm not trying to make, because you know what I've learned is trying to make people, this is where the peace comes in. You did in my introduction about, I'm not letting anything at this point in my life interfere with my peace. I've learned that when I make things happen in business, like somebody from the beginning, I don't have the money for this, or I can't afford this. And I'm like, well, let's maneuver this around. Let's make this around. Then on the back end, who's stressed out? They told me from the beginning that this doesn't fit in their lifestyle, that they can't afford this, that, they don't have time. And then on the back end, I'm like, that's why they stressing me the hell out. Like, that's my fault. I did that to me. So now I don't do that. And so I learned that from there, and I've gotten much better over time, that if it doesn't just fall, if I'm doing my end, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and it doesn't fall in place, then it's just not meant to be. And my biggest thing right now is, and that's okay.
That's grown up. That's grown up. One thing I know about you that we didn't talk about, but I know this specifically about you, and this could be somebody else's story, is that you come with this confidence, like even right now, right? But you are a true introvert. So tell me, or tell the audience, about being an introvert, but also exhibiting this confidence. How's that possible to do both?
So I brought this book out that I'm reading right now. and it's called E2 or E squared, and she has an E3 too. But I highly recommend this because even the title of introvert, I don't even wear it anymore.
What?
Like, I don't even wear that. I don't even wear that hat anymore. I will have that discussion with people because people can relate to that. But on the back end of that, it's like we use that because as far as even we're going to like scientifically, like a doctor is never going to prescribe you as or say it's not a prescription, but diagnose. A doctor will never diagnose you as extrovert or as introvert. It's not a diagnosis. It's almost like an excuse that we give ourselves because I'm an introvert. I can't talk to people. I could have talked to people honestly from the beginning. I just chose. It was uncomfortable. I wasn't confident in what I was saying. I was worried about what people were going to think about me. Now this does come with, you're laughing, but this does come with like, I have the history to follow behind it. Like, you mentioned hashtag, master team builder. When I was given that title, I wasn't even confident in it. Now, did I have the money to follow it? Did I have the team to follow it? Did I have like the data points to prove it? I mean, that's why I was given the title, because I had the data points, but I didn't believe that, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't believe it was my work that had made that happen at the time. Now I've done it twice. Well, now it's my work. I did that. You know what I mean? Like, my work has opened up the doors for people. So now I walk in, I am a master team builder, because before, if you do it once, it could be by accident. When you do it twice, it means you have the ability, because can everybody do it? No, if they could, they would. And I've seen it. I've seen where other people can't do it. So then it's not something that accidentally happens. It's something I've worked for, though. That's why I wear the confidence. I have worked to become a person that chooses not to wear the introvert hat and chooses not to sit behind that. Now, it is way more comfortable now. It's way, but again, it goes back to the fact that I just don't care what people think anymore. My purpose is much bigger than what people think about me. So like, if I know what I bring to the table now, I know what I have to offer people. I know, and this is like God-given. I finally gotten to the point where I realized, like, these are the gifts God has given me. And how selfish is that to hold that behind a cover of I'm an introvert, so I don't want to talk to people about it. That's how I feel about it.
I love that. I'm like kind of shocked. Like, I didn't even know you didn't identify with that. I feel some kind of way about that. But
do I still need to decompress? Because you've been at events with me before, right? And so you've seen it does not come natural. I do not wake up in the morning and be like, I'm about to go talk to the whole world and shine my light on people. I do not wake up like that. I do not get energized by people. Like, there are, like, I feel like you're one of those people who gets energized by people. I do not. It still does deplete my battery. It still does deplete my battery. I do have a certain, time period. Like, once I've done my, whatever event I need to do, I feel like I've touched the people. I feel like my purpose has been fulfilled. I'm going home. I'm going to the car. I don't want to talk to nobody for 2 more hours, but that's just, that is who I am, but I'm not going to say it's because it's a introvert thing. Like, it just doesn't power me. What does power me is seeing the difference that it makes, right? And I won't ever see the difference if I don't show up in front of people. And I do like to see people lives like literally change, or the light bulb goes off, or the person who didn't want to talk to people now talk to people. Like, I love that. That energizes me. So I got to get over, if I want to see that, I got to get over, and I can't sit behind like, I'm an introvert and I don't have, but at events, I got a certain battery. I'm going to make sure it's charged. I'm going to take my vitamins. I'm going to get my sleep. But once it goes down, like, I'm out. I'll see y'all next time.
That really feels like the educator part of you too. I can see that with like teachers and educators, how they want to see that transformation. They like to see the eyes get brighter and the aha moments. So I can see how that cross connects. So what about, we've had something so beautiful in business, but what happens when it can become brutal at the same time? Because we've experienced that as well. So what's one truth about business ownership that no one, prepared you for?
Well, specifically for the type of business that I was in, because it was the MLM, and no one prepared me for the inevitable drop. And now that I've been on the other side of it and I've like talked to people, or maybe the blinders are off, like it is an inevitable. Like there isn't anybody, I mean, I've been in 6 and 7 figure masterminds who hasn't had, this is why people go from company to company and they take their following with them. It's because they're looking for the next ebb. And then once the inevitable flow comes, and I'm not talking about, every business has an ebb and flow, right?
Mhm.
Every business has this. But like in MLM, it's like you have this and then you have this. And I don't think anybody prepared me for that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've been in like 6, 7 figure masterminds, and the only thing it was talking about was like how to recruit more, share more. It was never like, now, eventually this high is going to come to an end. Like nobody talked about that. Now, because I think we're at a time in history that for MLMs, like everybody's feeling that, like across, I don't know one MLM that's not feeling that right now. Because
business says overall, right? Like it doesn't even have to be an MLM to be having that ebb and flow.
Well, this is true, but I'm talking about like a drop. Now, in every industry, it's like your stocks, your bonds, or when you're trading, you want to have things in opposite ends. So like we'll talk about like Home Depot is for the home repairs. And so you want to have money over there. But the opposite of a time when people aren't buying and they're choosing to repair, the opposite is people are buying. And so you want to have money in whatever works for buying. Like my husband does the stock and stuff. So I'm not an expert in that part, but it's like you want to have opposite things. So at all times they're offsetting each other and you're still growing, right? And there are some businesses that just have their 20-year run. And then after 20 years, it's like nobody's like VCRs. VCRs had a run for a long time. Everybody was buying VCRs. Who's buying a VCR right now? Nobody. So the people who were making great money with VCRs for a long time no longer are making great money with VCRs. They had to figure out how to pivot to something else. Now, there were some people who were in the VCR business who didn't pivot at all. They thought, oh no, people are going to always use VCR. And they were stuck in their old ways and they weren't willing to, instead of selling VCRs, sell DVD players. But who's even doing DVD players right now? Nobody. Now we have movies because my husband has movies from the night. Like when he grew up, his mom gave us all those. And Mila, we don't watch the new Pinocchio. We watch the old Pinocchio where they're VCR. They're like in VCR cassettes or whatever. She can still watch them. Both grandparents have VCRs. Who does not? We don't. I went on Amazon to buy one. A VCR is like $250.
Ew.
I just can't make myself buy it. So anybody out there has a VCR that you just have sitting that's still operable, I'll buy it for $100. But I just can't do $250. But it's just an example of having to diversify or pivot and knowing when the end of the road is the end of the road for what you're providing specifically. So.
And this is the truth. Yeah, we were talking about the truth of entrepreneurship that you found out along the way. So the
is knowing when to pivot. Yeah, knowing when to pivot.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. One thing about I was about to say ministry because you preaching, but one thing about your business and how you say you help others and things like that. What advice would you give a woman sitting at home right now, watching you scrolling, and we just come up on this real cute jacket that you got? Let me see what this girl got to say. Okay. And she's afraid to launch. And what you're saying is tugging at her heart. What's your advice to her?
Do it. That's my advice is to do whatever, even if what you're trying to do right now is not a lifetime. And some things are just reasons, some things are just seasons, and some things are just lifetime. I know we've all heard that, right? Yeah. And sometimes we get stuck in the not taking action and the not doing because we're not really sure if what we want to do is a reason, season, in life. Like I had a podcast. It was great for that season. I don't have one now. But do I regret doing it? No. Here's one example of why I don't regret doing it. Because when I got on here tonight, guess who knows how to use this program that we're on?
And help me fix my screen.
Like, one thing, you may not know what the lesson is for at that time, but what I'm confident is whatever you asked for, you needed that for what you're asking for. Mm-hmm. And you won't ever get what you're asking for if you keep staying stuck and not taking action on what's in you. I don't know what I was listening to, so I can't give credit just because I listen to a lot of audibles and I read a lot of books and I listen to, podcasts and all that kind of stuff. So I can't always give credit to who I got it from. And honestly, nothing that any of us say at this point really belongs to us. We've gotten it from something or somewhere. But one thing that was said that I know to be true is that what we want keeps tugging at us. Like, what our purpose is doesn't let go or let up.
I like it.
It keeps coming back. Like, if you have a desire to live in the house on the hills and it keeps coming back to you, that's what you're supposed to do. Stop putting it off. Like, that desire is there for a reason. Go fulfill it. And I'll say this. Since I was in high school, I'm talking about, like, my mom got a divorce and she had to go from the house to the apartment. And I came home from college to visit and I no longer had my own room. And I had to go visit her in her apartment. I said, then I want to own an apartment complex. Since high school, I've said I wanted to own an apartment complex, not a house, not a duplex, I wanted to own an apartment complex. Now, for years, I have always felt like I needed to have more to be able to earn more money. Like, my credit is like almost 800. Like, it don't get any better. I get stuff in the mail all the time of they want to just throw money at me, to spend. But for some reason, it just never clicked. Like, you could do this now, Christi, like yesterday, right? And the desire has always been there. Like, I've written it on walls, like I keep stuff around, my house. Like, whatever I want to happen, I keep it in front of me, not by accident, on purpose. It only happens if you're constantly seeing it. And it just dawned on me, and I love ChatGPT because put it in AI and let it tell you the steps. When ChatGPT outlined for me what life could look like for me in the next 18 months, I'm like, this is so easy. I was making it so more difficult than it is. Because I was telling in my mind, not even based on like reality or research, just in my mind, I need to have this, or I must have this, or I don't know this. Like, it literally told me what to say to investors that would at least make them say yes. They would be willing to look at it if I came to them with this. And then now I just gotta go get this and then bring it back to them, because they would be willing to look at it if I find that. And I just go, I gotta find that, right? So to your question, I would say take action, use artificial intelligence. Like, there's literally in this day and time no reason why you can't have exactly what you want to have. The only thing keeping anybody from having exactly what they want to have is your own mind.
Wow.
The world, we used to live in a time where your parents didn't know it was possible if it didn't exist in their neighborhood because they couldn't see it.
Right. We
live in a time right now that we can see anything, what's possible, and we have technologies that tell us how to get it. The only reason we don't have it is because we believe we can't. Change. What gets me, because I'm not religious, but I do believe in God. And what gets me about religion is that it is always, I've listened to gospel music, right? And there's some gospel music I turn off because, like, they're taking the ability for what God has already given us away from us. Like, we got to wait on somebody to give it to us. Not the God that I serve. He has given me everything that I need. I just have to believe that what's the word I'm looking for? Believe that I am deserving of these things. I just have to believe that I deserve that I am a child of God and all the riches and glories. And I don't go to church. And I know somebody watching this has the scripture that goes along with this. So I want y'all to drop the scripture that goes along, because I don't quote verses, but I am confident that everything I say has a verse that can be matched to it. And we have been promised everything that is right and good. Why do we not believe that we can have that? Because the world tells us that we can't have it. Jesus was a child of God, and guess who else is? We are. So we can split rivers. We can make wine into water. We just don't believe that we can. Now, if you want something to read that says these same things, because she can write it way better than I can, but it's like I've always believed this, and I just had to read it to be able to put it into words. So that is what I'm saying for the woman, the man, the child who's watching this, is you can have it and you deserve it. Go get it so that you can have it and bless other people's lives by having it. We are blocking people's blessings just because we're too scared to walk in what God told us is already ours. I didn't mean to come on here to preach. That's not my intention.
I was just gonna feel that and I don't know this, Christi, so I'm like, huh? Well, eat it up, honey. I will eat it up. Look, I want to wrap it up, but I gotta ask you just two more questions. If your entrepreneurial journey was a chapter in a book, what would the title be? If your entrepreneurial journey was a chapter in a book, what would the title be?
This is just the beginning.
Ooh, and that says a lot, because I mean, this ain't your beginning. Like, you've done it before. You're almost reinventing like the next phase of your life. Would you agree?
Yeah. This is about to be amazing.
Wow.
It's really about to be amazing. I am super excited about what 2026 is going to bring. I'm super excited about the people who are about to be attached to me, because if I probably have never, the thing is, I've never been this confident about my purpose, and I've accomplished a lot without being this confident about my purpose. Mm-hmm. So even I'm scared of what's about to happen because of the level of confidence I have about my purpose. Like, that scares me, because it's about to be big, and it's about to really change a lot of people's lives in a way that I can't even put into words, but I'm so confident about it. Like, I'm so rooted, and I know that it is this time in this place, and it's just a matter of which people are supposed to be with me on it.
Mm-hmm. That's
crazy to me.
Way to your story is so full of resilience and reinvention, like I mentioned, but results as well. How has telling your story helped open doors for you and for those who follow you?
How has telling my story opened doors for me? That story is definitely not done being written. Mm-hmm. My hashtag is I aspire to inspire. And I really just try to live a life that in its truest form. Like, I don't prep my life. You know, like some people, I feel like, go through the effort of posting certain things to make things look a certain way. Like, I don't. I really just live my life. Like, if you watch I have green carpet in my house. You know, like, that's 19. Like, when was it a thing when people had green
carpet?
Huh?
I really do hate the green carpet.
Yeah, I absolutely hate it too. But there's a certain things that I want to accomplish. Like, you'll know when I've accomplished whatever, you know, is on what's on my list when the green carpet is gone. And could we get green carpet? You know, could we take it out right now and get something? We could. But like, I keep certain things in place to make me, you know, get to a certain levels in life. Like, I went and got a job because, like, I knew that, well, I didn't get the worst job ever, because the worst job right now in my life would be a classroom teacher. I went and substituted, and I was like, yeah, if I want to stay out of jail, I can go back here.
Let's clarify. She used to be a principal, assistant principal, and she's done her classroom, because I have a lot of teachers.
I've served my time.
Done her time in the classroom, so let's just clarify. And okay, keep going.
So I forget what I've done really good. This has been 40 minutes of not forgetting anything you've said, but
Oh,
I
you did
forgot what
great.
was the.
We were talking about the stories. So one thing why I asked you about the stories is because I watch you post on social media, and I'm a Toastmaster, of course, celebrating my 20th anniversary this year.
Congratulations.
Toastmasters. But I watch you in your post, even though you said, I'm just living my life. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about that's happening in the moment. Your stories are so powerful, even when you just posted in a, 1 minute, it takes you 1 minute to post a little, I'm on the green carpet working out with my husband, whatever you post, right? But they're so powerful and so impactful that they make you want to go get the powder, the pill, the whatever. So whether you know it or not, whether you think you're telling a story or not, you're definitely, in the way you present yourself on social media, which is authentic. I'm not saying that it isn't, but it definitely helps open doors for other people because of the way they flood your inbox. So you got to know that it's being impactful, because people are drawn to whatever story you're telling about whatever you're talking about in the moment.
Yeah.
So you're definitely.
I was gonna say, I think that also goes to my other hashtag was, it's a lifestyle. So like, we really are just living our life. And I just happen to be comfortable enough to share that life with my followers. And so whether the cameras were on or not, we're going to be working out. Whether the camera's on or not, we're going to be cooking. Whether the cameras are, like, these are things that it's just my lifestyle, and I'm just sharing it with the world. And I hope to inspire people. That's why I feel like I'm not a coach, or I don't even like the word coach, because when I think of coach, it's like a basketball. I think of basketball and how a basketball coach has to stay on you. Like, there, you always got to show up, and I always got to remind you to do this, and don't forget to shoot. Oh, you're still flicking your wrist to the left. Make sure you, and they're always there. And I don't prescribe to that. I am more so like, if you follow me, well, it's like, what would Jesus do? Now, I'm definitely not calling myself Jesus, so don't screw that. But it's like, what would Jesus do? So it's almost like, if you're following me, I want you to see my lifestyle and say, would Christi eat that? What would Christi do? So I want to live.
That's a good segue, because you got something coming in 2026. What would Christi do? Right? Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I am doing a 30-day social media boot camp, completely free. The one thing that I've been successful since like April. So it's one of those things where I said, like, if you do it once, maybe it's an accident. But if you do it twice, then you probably know what you're doing. And so I have built my current business completely online. And so I want to share with other people how to do that for free. So if you go to Christi Nicole, she has it down there, ChristiNicole.com, and fill out your information. We will officially start on January 2nd. So January 2nd through January 30th. I am going to be walking you through, in a Facebook group, how to grow your social media through social media marketing. It's basically a social media boot camp. And I'm going to share with you what works for me and people who listen to me. And do
listen to Christi.
Listen to Christi.
that was the actual hashtag that I used.
So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's like, I do like operating in what is natural to me, and this is natural to me. So why not give it away for free? So that's what I'm gonna do. So I look forward to having you join me. And it's not related to any company. So whatever business company you're in, whatever product you should like, I won't be talking specifics about any company. It literally just will be growing your social media. So social media boot camp.
I looked at your social media, and by accident today, I was tagging you, and I looked at your social media. I said, did that say 12,000 followers? When did that happen? I don't know when that happened. Did it happen overnight? I ain't been paying attention, but I was like, is this the right page? Christi, 12,000 followers. All right, Christi Farmer. So if you want to follow Christi, definitely look her up on social media at www.facebook.com/CN Waller, her maiden name, but she is known as just Christi or Christi Farmer. We are so excited to have you at this sit down as our first guest. I wouldn't have wanted to open my podcast with anybody else, because you are the epitome of what the show represents, which is resilience, entrepreneurship, women who are balancing lives. We didn't really get into your beautiful family, your husband. Shout out to Jeremy.
18-year-old and the 5-year-old. Yeah, the two 18-year-olds and the 5-year-old. Yeah, that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, I know all about that. Are the distances? No, your distance is a little bit bigger than mine. Mine is 10 years with my son and my youngest daughter. Yours is 13 years?
13, yeah.
Whoa, it's such a stark difference. But I see that when we're this age, when we're this big age, it's a different, how can I say this in a great way? The struggle bus isn't there. So it's just a different lifestyle that we can share the kids. So I'm so excited. Mila is amazing. She's just as popular or even more popular than Deuce on social media. Everybody loves Mila. You want to get stories about Mila, about her business, though she's the number one lead, one of the top leaders, I will say it that, one of the top leaders in. You got to follow her.
Number one for the last 2 months in all of North America.
In all of North America.
Just to clarify.
Well, I read the magazine. I knew it was people with bigger ranks, but you're number one in North America. In your
for senior, it is for senior directors. So I am number one for senior directors in all of North America for back-to-back months. And I'll find out tomorrow where I hit for the third month. Might be the same spot.
Well, we know we're gonna be at the top. Whatever. We know we're gonna be at the top. But that is just a testament. We talked about 12,000 followers. We talked about number one in North America of what she can do at the social media bootcamp. Go to ChristiNicole.com. Sign up today. Get ready. It's going to be the beginning of the year. It's going to be everybody want to get started and rebooted and all of the things. So you might as well just go ahead. That's what you're going to say in January. So you might as well go ahead and join in now and be the first to know when the boot camp launches in January 2026. Christi, it has been my honor to sit down with you and connect with you and even learn more and more about you. Even though I've known you for almost a decade, I've learned a lot just sitting in this space today. So thank you. Any closing thoughts you want to leave with the audience?
I want to say thank you it means a lot to me to be the first. This is one of those things where, people go back and watch, like once you hit 2 million followers and they start looking at where she started, and it'll be me that she's like that.
Wow, let me put that on.
That is really big. So I do not take this opportunity for granted. I am always blessed to be connected with you, Yolanda. You are a gem. You have always been my biggest cheerleader, especially when I was in my introvert era. And you have always introduced me to rooms and have always been like, do you know who this is? And I'd be all like, oh no. So I appreciate you. Honored to be connected with you. Anybody who is connected to you is an honor and a blessing. And I'm excited to see where you go. I'm glad you're starting this now because it'll be big in 2026. So I do love you and I appreciate you and thank you for this opportunity.
2 million followers goes on the mirror today. 2 million followers. You say you have what you see. You keep it in front of you. So I heard that. Well, thank you, Christi. We're going to close it out. Everybody, make sure you're following Christi on Facebook, Instagram. She's probably on TikTok and LinkedIn somewhere too, because she's in all of the places.
I am on all the things.
Join our social media boot camp at ChristiNicole.com. Thank you, Christi. We'll see you next time. All right, we're ending out the sit down. The first episode is over. I can't believe it. Thank you for pulling up a chair with me today. My prayer is that something you heard today reminds you that your story still matters. Your purpose still calls. Your legacy is still being written, and all you got to do is get up and stand up and just do it, in the words of Christi. I'm Yolonda Jay, and this is the Sit Down, the place where leaders rise by learning to rest, reflect, and rise again. See you next time. First one in the bag. I'm so excited. Love y'all. Bye.